real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Bruce Johnson works in a bar, and the defendant is one of his customers. Bruce says when the defendant gets drunk, he likes to act like the big man on campus, and he offers to buy everyone in the bar a round of drinks. But he's suing because he sold the defendant a car, but he's failed to pay for it. Defendant Danny Torres says Bruce is rude and arrogant to his customers, and he often sexually harasses the female patrons. Danny refuses to pay Bruce because ever since he sold Danny the car, he's been disrespectful and threatening.
Start with you.
I've been a bartender since roughly since 1985. In my ventures in working in a bar, I've seen everything from pimps and hookers and vagrants and drug dealers and loan sharks, et cetera, et cetera. But then I met Danny Torres, which is a whole new story.
So you say he's worse than all of the above?
I am saying so, Your Honor.
Ooh, that's pretty bad.
That's wrong.
Go ahead.
That's wrong, man. That's wrong.
But if I may continue, Your Honor, Danny is the kind of guy. I didn't know him very, very long, actually. I've only met him since about January. Shortly after I met him, he became the kind of guy, he wanted to slam down a few Budweisers, which was good. But then he got on his little tequila binge, wanted to do those tequila shooters. Well, when he does the tequila shooters, he becomes the big man on campus. He wants to buy everybody in the bar rounds of drinks, if he has any money. Kind of like he thinks he's going to be the dream date if he can get somebody drunk enough.
It's not like you pay for it. It's not like you pay for it,
But,
man. What you talking about?
But then he becomes
You make a seem like this. Sorry, sir.
You make pretty good money?
No.
Well, how do you go into a bar and buy everybody drinks?
Because I'm kind-hearted. I don't know how I do it. It just happens.
And then you end up being sued.
Yeah, I know, sir. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Sound like my brother, bless his soul.
Right,
He's
right.
Deceased. Steve.
Oh, no.
He used to live it up and ain't have a dime. The funniest episode, I gave him some money to get a car, right? And told him to get a car that price, pretty decent piece of money. So he comes back with a little raggedy car. I said, well, Steve, make sure you put the rest of the money in the bank. He had already bought the car. I said, because the car's gonna be breaking down, sure enough. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna put that. So I checked with him later. You know, you had about $7,000 left. Show me some receipts, because he said he had spent the money on bills. That's what he said. I spent the money on bills. So he pulls out a receipt for like $650. So then I'm like, I get the fussing, Steve, you said you're gonna save the money, now you calling me to get a radiator when you said you were putting away the $7,000. His friend pulls him to the side. He said, Judge, you know, Stevie spent that money in 1 week. He went to the bar every night. I said, what? He said, yeah, he go in there and say, I'm Judge Mathis, brother. The drinks are on me. Lord, I love Steve to death, but he lived it up off other folks' money. Go ahead, sir.
Perhaps he knew Danny and they partied together.
Hey, could be. You never know.
Plaintiff Bruce Johnson met the defendant at the bar where he works, and the defendant claims Bruce often sexually harasses his female patrons.
Let me allow him to give a little background.
Sure,
then we'll get back.
All right. You ready for me? All right, I'm ready for you. I'm ready. All right, let me tell you a little bit about Willie Nelson lookalike here. For one thing, he's arrogant to his customers. You know, he's very rude, disrespectful. The man sexually harasses women at the bars.
He's been there since 1985.
He's gone too far. He should have retired with General Motors. He should have retired with General Motors. That's what he should have done. Because his career is leading him to senileness, man. He's going to be in a wheelchair before long, so it doesn't matter to me.
Go ahead.
Okay, anyway, sir. He gets his customers so pissed off that I've seen him about 3 or 4 years ago. I've been in that bar in and out, all right? I've seen him get punched. I've seen him get dragged down. And I've been in the same position, maybe like your brother, get beat up for buying people drinks and being too kind.
They would jump on you?
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
You didn't buy enough drinks then?
I couldn't. I was broke.
Go ahead. All right.
By then I was broke. I didn't know what was going on.
Anything else before I get to the contract?
No, sir.
All right.
I'm done.
Sir, let me hear from you.
We made an agreement on February 3rd to sell him my '79 Camaro for $2,200. He gave me $100 down, and our agreement was for him to pay me $300 a month until the $2,100 was paid off. He gave me a check for $300, and it was dated for March 24th, and he said, please don't cash it until then. And I didn't. But I called the bank when I was going to go deposit. I called the bank up, just had kind of a feeling because he was doing a little partying. Called the bank up, and they said there's not enough funds to cover the check. I called him up, informed him of such. He said, okay, I'll get you some money. So a couple days later, he came running up to me. He gave me $200. He said, hold the check, and we can use that at another time. I said, fine, no problem, but you still owe me another $100. He said, fine. Well, that's the last money I've seen from him for an extended period of time.
He went and bought up the bar somewhere else.
Yeah, he was paying off his bar debts apparently. Every time I talk to him, it's "I'll see you on Friday." Apparently, that's the only day.
He would have got his money if he would have been so rude to me.
But finally, he did pay me $150. That was on 7/10.
Okay.
Paid me $150. He says, "Bruce, I've been wrong."
And the balance?
I understand that would have made it $1,750 then.
All right. Let me hear from you.
The car was lost. Okay. I put it in my ex's name, which it doesn't matter. She sold the car on me. All right, there's no reason why I should pay this man to begin with because he's been arrogant to me ever since. He's been threatening me. He's rude to me. He sees me in public. I don't even want to look at him. But he's being rude to me and stuff.
You can't get out of a contract because a person is rude, arrogant.
But he's not a nice person,
You don't
Judge.
have to be nice.
I understand that, but he can't be disrespectful and mean to people. You be disrespectful and mean to people, you ain't gonna get a penny out of me.
Most bankers aren't nice either, Your Honor.
Yeah, most bankers aren't nice. That's a good point.
That's all right, though.
Let me hear about the threat.
The threat was,
yes,
every time, he'd call me and say, well, if you don't answer me, I'm gonna call the police on you, live around the corner, and I'm gonna put you in jail. Who in the heck is gonna get money out of a person when you threaten him like that? I ain't gonna give him a penny. If he's gonna be arrogant and rude to me like that, I don't care, throw me in jail. What do I got to lose? I ain't got no money anyways. Hell, you go get money back, check your money, looking somewhere else, bro. Not me. I'm broke.
He had no money, but he had a stomach full of tequila, Your Honor.
But see, again, he don't support my habit. I do.
All right. It's not a crime to let someone know that you will sue them or pursue criminal charges against them if they do not, or if you in this case, do not meet your obligation with them. If he feels it was criminal larceny, then he goes to the police. If he feels it was a civil breach of contract, he goes to civil court, which he has done.
Plaintiff Bruce Johnson met the defendant at the bar where he works, and the defendant claims Bruce often sexually harasses his female patrons.
So, you didn't tell me whether you owe him or not. You owe him the total amount? Sounds like you owe him something because you say...
I do owe him the amount, sir.
The amount?
I do owe him, but you know what? I'm not going to pay him. He wouldn't lose.
Yes, you are.
He just ain't going to get it.
But I'm pretty sure he'll pay the local bartenders.
All right, why don't you do this?
Again, sir, it's not his tab, it's mine.
Why don't you do this? Tell him how you really respect him and he's a nice guy. Go ahead and tell him that.
No.
Don't lie to me.
You're not going to tell him?
Don't lie to me.
Your Honor,
lie to me.
I can't perjure myself by saying something like that.
All right.
To each his own.
I was just trying to prove that he was wrong about your personality, but obviously he's right. But that doesn't prohibit you from getting your money. You owe him, admittedly, judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Oh, you know what? If that's the bartender's way of working, that's up to him. But I felt on my own behalf that it was wrong. But you know what? That's okay.
I really have no animosity against him as long as I get my money. That's what it was all about in the beginning. It's all about in the end.
That's it. That's it.